Home Summer House Season 10 Episode 10 Review. Tea time, baby. Everybody is tired, bitter, and slightly unhinged. Let's just go ahead and say it. This episode, it wasn't giving summer fun. It was giving group therapy session with alcohol, resentment, and unfinished business. And honestly, I live for it, because what we saw in this episode was not just drama, it was years of tension bubbling up and finally spilling over like cheap champagne at a Bravo party. Heartbreak. Kyle and Amanda, a relationship on life support, and the machine is beeping loud. Let's start with the couple that refuses to break up but also refuses to be happy. Kyle and Amanda. Now listen, at this point, I don't even know if they're in a relationship or a hostage situation. Amanda is sitting there talking about, couples therapy is our last chance. Last chance. Girl, how many last chances have we had? Because I feel like we've been watching their last chance since season 3. And then, the birthday situation. You mean to tell me you forgot your husband's birthday? Now I'm not saying that's the worst thing in the world, but when your relationship is already hanging on by a thread, baby, that thread just snapped. And Kyle, still acting like a frat boy who accidentally got married. No growth, no accountability, just vibes and excuses. Right finger. Real question, are they actually in love, or just afraid to start over? Because what we're watching doesn't feel like love anymore. It feels like routine, resentment, and rent splitting. Firecracker. Carl versus Kyle. That friendship is done, and honestly, good. Now this right here, this was the moment of the episode. Carl finally confronted Kyle about not acknowledging the anniversary of his brother's passing. And let me tell you something. That was not just about a forgotten date. That was about years of feeling unsupported, overlooked, and emotionally dismissed. Carl came in calm, but you could feel that hurt. And Kyle, talking about, I just spaced. Sir, this is not forgetting where you left your keys. This is your best friend's trauma. And this is where Kyle always loses me. He treats serious moments like they're minor inconveniences. Meanwhile, Carl is evolving, healing, trying to be better. And Kyle is still stuck in party first, feelings later mode. Right finger. Let's be real. Carl has outgrown Kyle. And sometimes, the hardest thing to admit is that your friendship has expired. Eyes. Amanda, why are you like this? The Ben and Sabrina situation. Now Amanda, baby, what was that? You mean to tell me you went to this man's girlfriend and said, everyone thinks he's in love with me? Excuse me, for what reason? For what purpose? Because that wasn't concern. That wasn't honesty. That was messy, unnecessary, and borderline delusional. And let's be real, even if it was true, why would you say that out loud? Now you've created tension, confusion, and drama for no reason other than, what? Attention. And Ben, he had to pull her aside like, why would you say that? Because now you look weird. Right finger. My shady take. Amanda might be unhappy in her own relationship. So now she's projecting chaos onto other people's. And that's when you know things are bad. Nail care. Dara versus Bailey. The, I was in his room but, drama. Now this little situation, petty, but entertaining. Sadara admits she was in Ben's room, but says nothing happened. Bailey is like, well, I wasn't lying. Translation, I exaggerated, but I still wanted the tea to be hot. And honestly, this is the type of drama I expect from Summer House. Low stakes, high gossip, slightly messy, and nobody really gets hurt. But let's be real, if you're in somebody's room late at night, people are going to assume something happened. That's just reality TV math. Right finger. Question, do you believe Dara, or is she doing damage control? Because I'm not 100% convinced either way. Eyes. Home. Sierra's soft moment, and we needed this. Now let's take a breath. Because Sierra gave us something rare this episode. Peace, reflection, real emotion. She goes back to her grandparents' house in North Carolina and starts talking about renovating it. And for a moment, the drama stops. No yelling, no accusations, no messy confessionals, just real life. And honestly, it was refreshing, because it reminded us that these people are not just reality TV characters. They're human beings with history, family, and growth. Right finger. Low-key highlight of the episode. Baby Mia and the baby contract. Girl, what? Now Mia, let's talk. You made a contract about having a baby. A contract? This is not a business deal, this is a child. And the man is clearly not on the same page. You can see it all over his face like, I didn't sign up for this pressure. And this is where things get tricky. Because wanting a child is valid. But forcing a timeline on someone who isn't ready. That's a recipe for disaster. And Lindsay sitting there like, tick-tock, girl, not you, adding pressure, loudly crying. Right finger, real question, is Mia building a family, or trying to control the outcome? Because those are two very different things. Party popper. Lindsay's housewarming party equals a whole setup. Now let's get into this party. Because this was not just a housewarming. This was a stage for drama. Lindsay knew exactly what she was doing, inviting everybody into one space with all this unresolved tension. And then throwing little shady comments at Carl. Oh, she came prepared. Drinks flowing. People whispering. Side eyes everywhere. This is what summer house is supposed to be. Messy. Uncomfortable. Entertaining. Right finger. And honestly, Lindsay might be the only one who still understands the assignment. Fire. The real problem with this season, let's talk about it. Now I'm gonna say something controversial. This season is good, but it's also heavy, and I think that's why some fans are struggling. Because Summer House used to be partying, hookups, fun chaos. Now it's therapy, trauma, relationship breakdowns. And while that's real, it's not always fun. Right finger. So here's the question for you. Do you want a messy fun drama, or B, deep emotional reality TV? Because right now, the show is trying to be both. And not everybody is here for that. I's final thoughts. The real tea. This episode showed us one thing clearly. Everybody is at a breaking point. Kyle is losing his friendships. Amanda is acting out. Carl is done holding back. Lindsay is stirring the pot. Mia is forcing timelines. And Sierra, she's the only one trying to grow in peace. Right finger. Overall rating, 8/10. Not the wildest episode, but definitely one of the most emotionally charged and messy in a quiet way. Speech balloon. Let's talk. I need your opinion. Alright, now I gotta ask you. Right finger. Do you think Kyle and Amanda should just break up already? Right finger. Is Carl right for distancing himself from Kyle? Right finger. Was Amanda wrong for what she said to Sabrina, or was she just being honest? Right finger. And be real, do you think Dara was telling the truth? Eyes, drop your thoughts, because baby, this house is not stable right now. If you want next, down finger.